Hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. Oh my gosh, I did not think I'd do another bonus video, but there was a question that I got on my channel and it was so important, and I've been wanting to address this for a while. I have on my Instagram a couple of times, and I was like, you know what, this is an important question and why don't we answer it? So it says here, and I'll put it here: you are so inspiring. You inspired me to start canning, which, by the way, thank you so much. So I went out and bought a pressure canner, but then I started learning about botulism. Now my anxiety has stopped me in my tracks. I am so afraid now. Is there any advice so I can overcome this and get inspired again? The answer is yes, you can get inspired again, absolutely. There is always fear that is associated with canning. Whether you are going to do USDA canning or Rebel canning, there is always going to be some sort of fear associated with canning. I cannot get people to get over it unless I personally talk with them or try to coach them. And when I do this, okay, especially for people who have never ever canned before, I always recommend going by USDA standards. If you've never canned before, I'm going to tell you, those are my recommendations. Unless you are someone who has had that background where you've seen the people in your family where they've done it a certain way. I water bathed some of my green beans. I trust this recipe just because it was taught for me from a reliable, trustworthy source. Let me interrupt this real quick because I just forgot to say this while I was recording. You have to determine what is a trustworthy, reliable source for you and your family, okay? That's something that you have to do entirely on your own. When I say a trustworthy source, I'm talking about, for me, I personally felt safe with my friend who's grown up doing it her whole life, and I trusted that family recipe. Okay, so that's what I mean when I talk about it, but you yourself have to determine on what you feel is a trustworthy, reliable source. But other than that, if you've never done it before, I try to tell people, hey, go ahead, and I'll mention some books, and start off with the standards, so that way it can lessen your fear and you are able to take some time and build up your skill. Okay, and in order for you to build up your skill, I always say you don't have to use food either. You can just start by canning just with water. Canning with water, learning the technique, learning how to build your confidence, and getting those skills and confidence down pat, therefore lessening the fear. After you've been canning for quite some time, you may be the type of person that starts to ask questions and kind of ventures off on a different path in their canning journey. That's what happened with me. And that's fine if you don't. The whole point is for you to feel safe in what you do in your kitchen. And I have complete respect for that. I tell people that all the time, okay? Listen, I am not a strict USDA canner, and I am not a strict Rebel canner. I've always kind of found myself somewhere in the middle, like always. But you have to do your own research. Please do your own research and do what you feel is comfortable in your kitchen. But trust me, you will be able to get over those fears. Also, I tell people that there are 3 books that I highly recommend, especially if I'm teaching a class. And I'm going to go through those books and tell you why I love them. I love the complete book of home canning, and it's by the USDA, okay? And the reason why I love this book is because, to me, if the crap were to hit the fan, this is like your Google. If you're going to Google anything, it's right here, okay? I love it. It's very thorough. You have to learn how to navigate it, but it's very thorough in its explanations. The next book I recommend, especially if you're just starting, is the Complete Book of Home Preservation. Okay, this is the very first book I ever bought for myself, and I remember lending mine out to a friend, and I didn't have the heart to ask for it back. So I bought it again, but it's a fine book. The reason why I recommend this book is because it's kind of like you have a teacher with you, and they're taking your hand and they're kind of guiding you through the whole process, because it has wonderful pictorials and teaching you how to can. It's very good in explaining it, okay? It misses nothing. There also is a problem solver, a glossary to understand some of the terminology of canning, okay? A produce purchase guide to help you with your yields, how much produce to buy and about how much it would yield. And just overall a great way of just learning the skill of canning. And the next book, I absolutely love this, is the Amish Canning Cookbook. I love this book. For me, this book right here is kind of like, as you start to learn through here, this one here, you'll be able to kind of just open up and then there's the recipe. Very simple, okay? So to me, I'm like, it's kind of, I feel a little bit more advanced because like after you've learned the technique and have gotten some things down pat, you could just open this up, look at it, all right, we're ready to go and can. Plus, I love how she touches on Tattler lids. I've never seen a cookbook really, touch on it. So I loved her take on that as well. I hope that answers your question, and as always, God bless.